First of all, congratulations to Mark Richt and his team. They have a talented football team, Miami does. Skilled and physical and pretty deep in terms of personnel. So I was impressed with the talent level, but we expected that going into the game. Similar to maybe what we saw from Louisville in terms of their talent base. And I was pleased with our team for the first half and the way they battled. And our miscues in the second half, we turned it over 4 times, numerous penalties, and clearly I'm not getting through yet to our team in those closer moments where the game is kind of going back and forth, and we held them to a field goal in the first one, so it's 2014. But again, I have not yet, and it's a direct reflection of me, and the team plays as they're prepared. And so I haven't yet been able to get through deep enough to have the play be clean enough and disciplined enough and execution sound enough and turnover free enough for us to have a chance to go all the way to the end, which I was anticipating and really hopeful that game would do. And nothing in the first half said anything different to me. I love feeling like we take a step forward. I love seeing areas of improvement. I love see kids try hard. And we didn't play nearly cleanly enough nor mistake-free enough, nor just simple execution. And so my task is to charge my coaches to get through deeper and more effectively with our team, to give them their best chance to play good football all the way to the end of the game. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm invigorated by that chance and really wish our seniors could have had a better experience on their last game today. I'm very appreciative of the fans and the turnout that was there today. And for a lot of the game, it was a really nice college atmosphere, and I appreciate that. And on behalf of our players, that's special to see a bunch of people on the hill and a fan base that was, I think, really pulling for us today for a long time. And so I appreciate that, and I know our players did.
You talked about the nothing in the first half indicated that you were in any trouble. This has kind of happened a couple games where you've had pretty good first halves, and then do you see any kind of thread there?
Man, I'm looking hard for a thread, and I'll keep looking. I think it might not necessarily be first half, second half. I think it just might be volume of plays, being able to hold, and our habits just aren't holding long enough. They're not deep enough, and they're not thorough enough. And so the more volume that's asked and the more different situations they're put in, they're just not deep enough. And I think we practice very hard and very effectively, and I think we're seeing, again, signs of what we're capable of really against anyone we play through parts of the game, usually the first half and somewhere through about 3 quarters. And then there's some things that manifest that I would love to help this team move forward and move past and become a consistent, to have consistent success when it gets to that. But today was, again, a clear representation of we're not there yet. And I think especially when you have some youthful players, man, you have to be even more of a masterful teacher and be really cognizant of where you put them, what positions you put them in, and where you put them, and how you use them, and I'm responsible for all that, and I don't take that lightly, and I would love it. I would love these kids to have success.
Bronco, in the past couple of games, Kurt's thrown some costly interceptions. The approach today offensively is some 3rd and longs. He chose to run it instead of trying to take a shot downfield. Was that just more of was that kind of dictated by Kurt's play of late?
It was not necessarily and only dictated by that. It was dictated by how the game was going. So my instructions to Coach and I in the first half especially was, man, a lot of these things can be conservative because it's 14-17. And that's the way that I really wanted that game to be in the second half. And again, when you turn it over 4 times the second half against a team like that, no matter what else we're talking about, the chance that it's it stays close, probably not. We were able to take some away from them, which helped. But a few key plays in the way, and then just us intermixing our own penalties along the way. My staff has to do a much better job. And I'm in charge of the staff, by the way, so this isn't me blaming them. That's not what I'm saying. This is myself. We have to do a much better job of getting that cleaned up, especially when you're playing an equal, if not when you're playing a quality opponent, because those things matter. And field position is a big thing. And we had 100-something yards worth of penalties, and very few teams can spot another opponent that much and think that they're going to have success, nor should you expect it. My job is to clean that up.
Bronco, defensively, I guess about 10 points off of turnovers and then the one big play.
Yeah.
They were in some tough spots, but what did you think about the evaluation of the defense?
They where Miami was more physical than what I expected. Both sides, their fronts, I think, controlled the game, and so they were able to get some pressure on our quarterback, and it doesn't necessarily need to be blitz, but they were able to run the ball with big sets. They had the fullback that's 280 plus their big guys in there, and certainly you have to be aware of their receiving threats, and we saw 2 big plays in that regard. So we could be fairly aggressive, but it kind of turned into a guessing game. And when I guessed right, we could hold them for 3 yards or under on a rush, and if we were playing coverage, they were able to sustain drives on the ground. And get about 4 or 5 yards per carry and sustain drives and control the game. And so I think we battled well, and but we still have lots and lots and lots and lots of work to do in terms of just defensive execution, run front dominance, tackling, and then there were 2 big plays mixed in there today as well. So lots of work to do.
On the decision to go to Matt there at the end, was that more situation, senior day kind of thing, or was that just because of the issues Kurt was having?
It was my decision, and there's just at some point intuitively there just is, okay, that turnover, that's enough, and I didn't feel like we were gaining momentum. It felt like we were losing momentum, and I thought at that point having a change would give us a better chance to finish, and so it wasn't necessarily senior day oriented. I love Matt and wanted to give him a chance, and so I asked Coach and I to put him in, and I think he did well. He gave us a spark and put a few balls on the money, and his teammates were cheering hard for him, as were his coaches.
Bronco, you had a lot of missed tackles today
Yeah.
that hurt you in screen pass, a lot of different places. Anything you saw there that's been repeated over and over again?
Not so much throughout the course of the year, other than just Miami was big, they were physical, and they were talented, and so I give them credit. And so, those things usually require extra effort, which means 2, 3, or 4 guys to the ball. And so that's really what I'll focus on is, how many second and third and fourth chances did we get at the point of attack? And that's, I believe in a fanatical effort to the ball and playing a collective, and we knew we'd have to play collective defense to manage the points effectively. And I think Miami was averaging about 35 a game, and that's about where they ended up.
Excuse me. You play Georgia Tech next week. I know you and your staff are familiar with the option from BYU, but have the players, did you put in any time on that in the summer or in the spring, or have they prepped at all against it?
They haven't. Our staff is very familiar. At BYU, we played and beat Georgia Tech twice under the current coaching staff, and it's a amazingly fast and exciting week. I love playing option football. I love the challenges that it creates, and I love the all-encompassing nature of how difficult it is to get ready in that short a time. But our current team doesn't know anything about our scheme and playing Georgia Tech. Our staff obviously does.
Yet another highlight reel play from Micah today. What did you think of that?
Micah's a really good football player and just so consistent and mentally tough. I think that might be the thing that is understated. Micah hasn't had a lot of success as hasn't been part of a program that's had a lot of success, and for him to prepare how he does every week and play how he does every week and lead how he does every week, that's something special. And I just I celebrate who he is and how he leads our team week in and week out, giving his personal best.